The 1970s was an evolving time for the city of Los Angeles. Wilt Chamberlain, Elgin Baylor, and Jerry West led the Lakers to the finals. The Clean Air Act began to tackle the smog problem. Tom Bradley became the first African-American mayor of Los Angeles. And in education, there was a merger between two rivals, the American Federation of Teachers, Local 1021, and the Association of Classroom Teachers of Los Angeles. These two groups formed United Teachers Los Angeles.
There is no doubt, and there certainly should be none today from anyone, that teachers now more than ever must express the interests of their students because others have failed them. We shall not.
Within months, the newly formed UTLA demanded our first contract with the Los Angeles Unified School District and went on strike for 23 days. This new contract called for decent pay and long overdue benefits. UTLA won our first contract. This contract was subsequently thrown out by the courts after lawsuits were brought against both the union and the school board because of the lack of a statewide collective bargaining law.
We would go to the Board of Education the appropriate day, show that there were a lot of us there asking for salary increase. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And there was no collective bargaining, there was only collective begging.
Refusing to be beaten, our union persevered and led the charge towards a collective bargaining law for public school teachers. In 1975, a young governor, Jerry Brown, signed the Rhoda Act. This act included provisions to allow strikes over contract issues. It forced parties to bargain in good faith. It required mediation to break any impasse and to carry out necessary fact-finding. As UTLA grew in numbers and political involvement both locally and statewide, we entered the 80s ready for real change. The 80s were earmarked by boycotts, rallies, and protests. Soon, tensions grew between UTLA and the school board. Official negotiations began with the school district in 1988. No agreement could be reached. And in 1989, UTLA declared another strike. During this 9-day strike, 80% of the bargaining unit was on the picket line. At the end of this strike, UTLA and LAUSD agreed to a 3-year contract. This contract included an 8% annual pay raise. It implemented school-based management and site-based decision-making. It agreed to end yard duty at the elementary level. It granted paid prep time and many other rights. During the 90s, UTLA rallied against layoffs, protested school voucher legislation. We earned fair share and continued negotiating for a fair contract.
I'm near the end of my career. They're the ones that are going to have to bear the standard. You know, I've gone through 2 strikes. I really don't want to have to go through a 3rd one. But we'll be gone. But the children will still be there. The administrators are still there. And the one thing I learned in the '89 strike, it doesn't matter what you win. They're always back to take it back.
The 2000s would see the cycle repeat itself again and again. Massive layoffs, drastic cuts, gutting of the arts, threats to both adult ed and early ed, and impossible caseload increases for health and human services. Corporate threats to public education, fake reform agendas, school giveaways and reconstitutions, toxic testing, teacher jail, and constant attacks on unions. UTLA took to the streets with boycotts, rallies, and protests. But not everything that repeated itself was bad. Jerry Brown, a friend to public education, was elected governor. Again, grassroots movements shed light on inequalities throughout our communities. Educators worked tirelessly to support Prop 30. Gloriously, Prop 30 passed and set a precedent towards making educational funding a priority in the state of California.
The leaders in Sacramento have got to step up, create a new revenue system, and make sure that we don't continue to stifle the poor in favor of the rich.
From recessions and layoffs to fighting for tax fairness and a livable wage, UTLA continues to be a beacon for the community and a champion for the issues of our students and their families. Struggle after struggle, we have fought back on disastrous legislations, proactively sought school improvement and school-based decision-making. UTLA began organizing charter schools and uniting educators throughout our district. UTLA continues to stand up and speak out against the constant misdirection and misguided priorities of the LAUSD. Since its inception, UTLA has fought for improved working conditions for every educator, which in turn is a fight for each and every student's educational success. Now, more than ever, we need to continue to organize. We need to build more partnerships. We need to win the schools Los Angeles students deserve. Join the movement for the schools Los Angeles students deserve.